What should the day of a CEO look like? You know, I get asked this all the time ever since starting my companies at 17 years old. You know, when I was first starting, it was kind of chaotic, you know, where every day I woke up and I just kind of worked on the most pressing issues and then kept going and going. And then, you know, over the years, and really when I was about 24 and I started a company called Spheric Technologies and I had a big team, I had to change the way that I worked. I had to start asking myself, what should I be doing with my day? What are the things that are important to me that other people that I need to work on, but other people can support me on and help me? And that's where I came up with this framework. I've talked to many CEO coaches. I've read hundreds of books over the years. And what I want to share with you guys is my framework for thinking about what should the day of a CEO look like. The first thing is every CEO out there, every management team should start with the daily stand-up. You know, some people call them huddles, but to me, I took the idea from agile development. It's a development process. Daily stand-ups. No more than 1 to 2 minutes per person, and really it's just answering 3 questions. 1, what did you do yesterday? 2, what are you doing today? And then 3, are you blocked or are you stuck? Is there anything that you can't complete that somebody else can help you with? And that to me is that should happen first thing in the morning with your whole team, real quick, 15 minutes max. And the key is to not make it turn into a meeting where you're discussing all the different aspects. You're just letting people voice yesterday, today, and block. And then as a CEO, after the fact, if you'd like to, you can kind of unblock those challenges or follow up with people specifically. So that is the number one thing, a daily stand-up meeting with your whole team. 2 is making sure that 50% of your schedule is open. Now, a lot of you guys hear me and you're like, there's no way, Dan, that I could possibly get 50% of my schedule open. Trust me, when I was building Spheric, I get it. For 2 years, my calendar was 100 hours a week, fully scheduled, working, talking to customers, and there was no possible way that I could make it work. But I'm gonna challenge you because I really think that if you adopt that mindset and you ask yourself, 50% of my calendar not scheduled, you will start looking at opportunities to outsource, to outtask, to have people support you, to delegate, to hire new employees. But really you need to free up that time so you can do the other aspects on this list. So the third thing I'm gonna share with you guys that a CEO does every day is any major project that they have accountability to, that they have to create, needs to be in their calendar. And I can't tell you how important that is. If you're working on a new marketing strategy or sales process, or maybe a new HR program to help kind of create core values for your teams, whatever the project may be, it has to be in your calendar. If not, life will just take over. You will be busy, you will never get it done, and the business won't grow. I mean, to me, that is, those projects that should be in your calendar are the ones that are really gonna have a material impact on your business and your growth. So I'm gonna challenge you guys, make sure that A, you keep first, the number 2, 50% of your calendar open, and then also with the rest of the time, if you have major projects, schedule them in there. And I do 90-minute chunks if that helps you kind of figure out the block time, I call it, to get those projects done. The fourth thing that you should be doing every day as a CEO, to me, it's really simple. It's aligning, talking to your employees and aligning their work with the purpose of the business. You know, many times I've suggested to first-time entrepreneurs that they should be spending a lot of their time sharing their story, their why, their purpose of their business most of the time. You know, and they go, well, why do I have to keep repeating myself? Trust me. You know, people forget. They get in these funks. They don't understand why what they're working on is going to be aligning to the bigger purpose. And that's what you should be doing. You should be going around to your team and saying, hey, you know that interface you're designing right now? That's going to allow us to do X, Y, and Z, and that's going to allow us to achieve this big results that we've all agreed upon. So that to me is kind of the fourth thing that in a business every day the CEO should be working on, is meeting with their team and really trying to explain to them how their work, their specific work, is gonna have an impact on the purpose and the mission and the vision of the business. So that's number 4. Number 5, and I got this from so many amazing books I've read. You know, a great example is Sam Walton from Walmart. He pretty much spent 4 days a week inside of his competitors' shops or talking with customers. And then that one day, the Friday, they would all come together and they would share what they've learned with the rest of the team, execute on those, and then do the same thing the next week. So number 5 is talking with your customers. If you have not picked up the phone recently, not to try to sell them, not to try to get feedback on how well of a service you guys have been delivering, but just talking to your customers, asking them questions like, what are some of the big trends going on in your industry right now? Where do you see some of your biggest challenges and opportunities for growth? You know, really just trying to understand where their business is, because to me, that is where innovation lies. That's where growth opportunities lies. And that's where building an excellent business for you by understanding their challenges and bringing those into your business and maybe offering solutions will really help you grow your business. So to me, again, I want to recap the 5. The 5 are very simple. One, you need to make sure that you're doing daily stand-ups. Two, you need to ensure that 50% of your schedule is open to allow you to do other strategic work. Three, if you have major projects, make sure they're scheduled in your calendar. Four, talking to your customers to ensure that the work, or to your team to make sure that the work they're working on is aligned, and you explain to them how these things are aligned with the purpose of your business. And then five, talking with your customers and trying to understand not only how good of a job you guys have been doing for them, but the strategy and the purpose for their business. Because to me, understanding where your customers are going will give you some really clear indication on what things you need to be working on. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I want to ask you guys to please like the video and comment, leave a comment below, and let me know, what are you doing in your business today, or what kind of the 5 things that I talked about, which one was the most aha that you're like, man, I got to work on that. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I want to challenge you guys all to live a bigger business and a bigger life, and I'll see you next Monday.